Hello there, and welcome to the Wandering Wolf. I've just seen the thing on the bottom, and they certainly can. Yes,
Absolutely can.
I'm your host, Mark Rhodes, and with me, as always, my friend and offensive typist.
it's thrown you, that,
Mr.
hasn't it?
Rayford.
It's
How are you,
thrown
mate?
you.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. I've missed you. Missed your face.
I've missed you too, you lovely man. Yeah, so let's get right into it, really. Hi to Vinyl Revival and Amalu Burton, as always. Thanks, guys.
Evening.
Evening. Let's get into it, mate, because it seems like a wasted opportunity once again. I saw the team.
Same old familiar story, isn't it?
What did you think of the team when it came out? Were you surprised he didn't start with Trinker instead of Prang? Or because
No,
they're both equally terrible at Newcastle?
Yeah, no, the lineup didn't surprise me, to be honest. I was actually quite positive about it, and I thought, oh, actually, yeah, that's good. I think the thing that everybody thought as well is we've had a bit of a break. That can only go in our favour, surely.
Well, yeah.
You know, let's capitalise on it. Surely we've been doing some hard work on the training pitch, and you know, we're going to get at them. We've got a fantastic opportunity to, you know, progress, do well, finish as high as we can. Europe's still on. And then we go and put in a performance like that again, and it's just like Groundhog Day again. I mean, it was an improvement on Newcastle, but in fairness, that's not really difficult, is it?
No.
But it's
the first half was.
You know, we could go round and round this, you know, as many times as we want, but we've said it's going to be an up and down season. Burnley have got that sort of bounce back thing from losing a manager, and that kind of always happens. And we always play poorly against Burnley or struggle. Anyway, but it's just, you know, the overriding thing is frustration because of where we could have been. But the same against when we played Arsenal and we, you know, lose it, and then we concede against Liverpool in the last minute, and just so many things happen. And then to the last couple of performances have just been.
Do you not think, mate, that it's a mental issue? This is like, it's about bottle at the end of the day. It's like all those things all those games you've reeled off, like we've always come second best in those games. Like when you go back to Watford, even in the semi-final, like when the going gets tough, this team hasn't got it. Just hasn't got it, and I think it's such a shame because nobody wants that seventh spot. Like West Ham are playing their reserves because they're in the Europa League. United are absolute gash. Like they are. Like I can't even tell you how much we should be getting seventh here. But then you also look at the table, and we're still eighth. Like,
I know, it's tough.
Mate, that's not a given though. I know we've got a cushion. But like you see, like teams like Leicester just piping up, Brighton as well. That's a 6-pointer if we want to stay in eighth.
Well, look where Newcastle are. Like,
I know,
it's madness.
But it was always going to happen. It was always going to happen.
I think yesterday, you know, looking at socials and obviously straight after the game, it's always a tough time to sort of, you know, take anything from it then because emotions are high. But look at the season overall. We're still doing better than what we thought we were going to do or where we should be doing. So there's no real need to get. It's just a frustration of like, look, if we'd have just taken those few extra points where we could be, and it's not because we've been outclassed necessarily. It's just because we haven't turned up. We know we can do much better than that. So I know it's our own fault. You know, it's not because we got outclassed. It's not because we've played Liverpool and City and got outclassed. We played Burnley and you know teams like. And Newcastle should be doing better. So
Newcastle,
it's the same old story. It's the same old.
It is the same old story. But what gets me, mate, is that you talk about that 2-week break, and Burnley. That was their 6th game in 3 weeks, and they had more passion. Obviously, we know what's happening in Burnley. They're going to stay up. In my opinion, they'll stay up. Leeds might be sucked into the relegation fight before they.
Well, I think where the table is now is where it'll finish.
Well, yeah, I think you're probably right there. But we've got 5 games left. We've got Brighton, Norwich, and then we've got City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. We ain't getting a point out of those 3 games.
Well, I don't know, mate. It's like we can lose 1-0 against Burnley and beat Man City. That's what we do.
Mm.
It's but in saying that, if, as I've just said, it's our fault really that we're not performing. Now, if I don't know what's happened to him, or really whether he actually ever had it, to be honest, but Hwang shouldn't be anywhere near the team. I think he's played himself out of it.
Games at the start. He had a decent
couple of games. Looks like he's fallen off a cliff. It's
Silver with a massive.
It's Neves that much that all those other performances have to drop. I mean,
I know what you say. I know what you're saying, mate. I know what you're saying. And like watching the first half, I was quite happy with how we played. I thought we played like it was quite intricate. Semedo and Johnny is our best player.
Johnny was good. I mean, first half was
player.
All right, but
yeah,
when you look at
Burnley scored the goal, mate, we were like, didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
we did not know what to do.
Just dire. So
it was like a continuation, as you said, of the Newcastle game. We were devoid of ideas. We were playing sloppy passes, like sideways. There was no drive. There was no fluidity to the play, unfortunately. And there's no excuse for it if you've had 2 weeks off. But Bruno Lage needs to be pulled up on some of the stuff that some of the tactics, because he played Raul on the wing.
I'm just going to pick this up, mate. Obviously, Vinyl Revival, the big mistake taking Silver off. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't
believe it. He was 10 times the player Hwang and Raul was.
Was playing like he'd never seen a football before, and he took Silver off. Who, okay, I'm not his biggest fan, to be fair, to be honest. But at least he was showing some effort and looked like he might create something. Whereas the other two, mate, I couldn't believe it. I don't understand, but his substitutions are always dodgy for me. They're all either too late
or the wrong ones,
completely wrong. Yeah, it's like that is a problem, to be fair.
Well, let's have a look at some of the comments, because everybody's like really getting into this one. I can say, let's go with. I'm trying to find it now. It's gone too far up. But Shrewsbury Wolf had one. We've lost that. We definitely lost that Nuno type of mentality. Let's have a look. Can you get it?
Got it.
Go on.
Is anyone else concerned with how few goals we score late on in games? We used to do it all the time. Now we can't buy a late goal. We've definitely lost that Nuno type of mentality. It's not just a late goal, is it?
It's a goal.
A goal.
It's a goal. It's any goal at any time of the game. I'd really take that. And wasn't that ridiculous stat that we'd scored like the third most goals in the year? It really doesn't feel like that. It really doesn't. And does anybody really feel like Dalman Sport? Not that one. The one at the bottom. Chiquinho would be a better option.
Absolutely.
I'd give him a go. Why are we consistently playing the same people? Because we've only got those players.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know what's Hwang can try and single him out, I suppose. I just don't know what's going on there. He just seems to not fit in at all. And obviously,
I think we're absolutely crazy to put all that money in January when we didn't need to. We didn't need to pay for him then. We could have waited until the end of the season. I just think it's just screams.
You won't be started him, would you?
Absolutely not. It's the same with Trincao as well. I don't think we'll be signing Trincao at the end of the season, and that's why you have loans to see what happens. But Hwang was like a proper impulse buy after he played well for the first 3-4 games, and he did. Yeah. He did play well.
I think he kind of appeased the fans as well, because if we hadn't have done that, there's a lot of stick flying around and a lot of we've signed no one, blah blah blah, and everyone thought of Hwang as our saviour at one point for goals.
He definitely isn't.
When he scored against Newcastle, I think that was the game we went to.
Yeah. Scored 2 goals. Yeah.
And it looked promising, and it was exciting, but my God, he seems to have that sort of partnership going with Raul, but I think Raul's obviously fallen off a cliff, and it just just looks lost, really.
He's still the second highest goal scorer in this team, Wang.
Yeah. Well,
with like 4 or 5 goals. It says it all, doesn't it? It's like, it's just really bad. Like Bruno knows we won't use Trincao. We are only helping Barca by using him every week. They aren't even helping us with buying Traore now. And the thing, what's happened with Traore, because he's only played 44 minutes since February, is what happened when he first started in the Premier League. He had a great start. Defenders have found him out. And now he can't get a touch of the ball because
he's a one-trick pony. That's why.
Yeah. That's the reason why Barcelona aren't taking him on, because he's not worth £30 million.
Yeah, because he's not a very good player.
Exactly. But he will come back, and we won't get any money for him. But I really am frustrated with how, because it looked really promising. I'm talking about the first half. I thought Sarr had a good game. I thought the positives in that game, the players that played well. I thought Semedo played well. Yeah, the two fullbacks played really well, I thought. Especially
it worked well with Semedo on the overlap and Johnny on the left. I thought that was good.
And Burnley, to their credit, in the second half, nullified that. And after they nullified it, we didn't have a clue. That was where we were getting joy down the wings and overlapping. And that's when we kind of like... That was when Bruno Lage needed to change it. And he didn't. When he started nullifying us, I don't necessarily agree with this, Shrewsbury Wolf. We might as well use the kids now. Europe is surely out of the question. Giving minutes to the youngsters makes more sense. The senior players we know who are leaving. I don't necessarily agree with that. We're only 3 points behind West Ham.
I don't think Europe's off the table. No,
it's not. Nobody wants it. West Ham ain't going to want to play.
Everyone's playing, and the fixtures, and knowing Wolves over the last few years, we can definitely go and get a point against City and Liverpool, Chelsea.
No, we won't get anything from those games. Maybe Chelsea. I can see us getting a point against Chelsea. We ain't getting anywhere near City or Liverpool. We ain't getting anywhere near, mate.
Stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things have happened.
No, I agree, but I just think they're playing. They need to win every single game by a huge margin. Yeah, I just don't think we've got it in us.
Well, the thing is, going back to what you said about Johnny and Semedo, and obviously that works quite well. It's promising. There's some good speed and interaction there, but there's nothing offering up front.
No, I know.
So whilst that's the case, what do we do?
Yeah. Because Coutinho and Dendoncker are playing so deep. There's no... The forwards and the midfield were not joining together. Like, there was the gap between the forwards and the midfield was so large. I was like, how many players have we got on the pitch here? Like, because it looked like... Because the bank of 3 that they had, Rel was on the wing. I was like, what's going on, man? And Silva, bless him, was running and trying. And Wang, he's got the touch of a 50 pence man. Like, he just goes anywhere. Like, he can't stick to his foot. I just don't get it. But we were playing too deep. You don't play that deep against Burnley. No. You don't. You don't need to. Like, in the first half, it was like we were playing some really intricate one-touch passing. Like, some of the movement was brilliant. And they were saying it on commentary, saying, tell you what, when we go upfield, we're doing it quickly. We're doing it with passion. And none of that happened in the second half. Why can't we play a full 90 minutes of football? Like, this has happened numerous occasions, and all I can bring it back down to is game management is awful. Our game management is awful. Yeah. We don't know when to kick on, What? I just don't get it. You've got Coutinho in the team. He's played about 7,000 games. He should be able to I'm not blaming Coutinho in any way here, but you need players to know when to crack on with. I don't get it. I don't understand. And if we play like that against Brighton, we'll get absolutely spanked because Brighton are a decent team.
Yeah,
they're a good team. The only points I can see us getting are Norwich at home. I just
Stay
that's
positive.
I know, but like, can you say we've lost? What is it? 6 games in 9. That's bad.
It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. But I think it could well be our bad run over, and we could have a strong finish. You know,
Ian Thomas, you've got some really, really good competition for joke of the week. That's good. Why does Bruno start Otto and not use him as a sub because he doesn't like Bruno Johnny on?
Good times.
It's good. It's good. It's not as family friendly as Ian's usually, but I still think it's good.
It's good. It's a good one. We need some jokes after that performance.
We do, mate. We do.
So okay, let's get it over and done with.
Yeah.
The big one, Raul Jimenez.
He needs to go.
What happens with him in the summer?
He needs to go, mate. And I feel like a broken record here, and like I feel really bad saying it, but you can't play like the way he has been playing, and continuously, like he got sent off. Like he shouldn't have got sent off against Leeds. Definitely not. He had a bit of a meltdown against Man City. He's become a little bit of a liability. If I'm being perfectly honest, he's not the way he played against Burnley. He's not Raul Jimenez for me. That was not him. Like he just looks like a shadow, and he has been for a long time,
And
like,
is that a service issue or is it him? Is it,
mate? He can't always be a service issue. He always picks the wrong ball. He always picks the wrong ball. He had Hwang going through on goal, and he basically passed it back to the keeper. It's just not good enough. And Hwang was worse. Hwang, like Raul wasn't the worst forward. He wasn't the worst, but he was close.
No, but obviously Raul's a different league. Everything that he's done for the club and the goals that he scored and everything has that run its course now? Are we saying
it has? Yeah.
The injury, as he's not the player that he used to be, and it's got to be time to move on. Because is it Benfica? Is it
Bayern Munich?
Is it Bayern Munich?
No.
If Lewandowski moves on.
Yeah, and they're on about like 25, 30 million. Like,
he's 30 years old.
I think you've got to take like if that kind of money comes in for him, then you take it for me. You know, he's not the same player. He's not.
Sad to see him go though, mate. Man. Thinking of the season. Trouble if he has another season like that.
I don't. Why are we judge him on next season? No, let's judge him on this season.
But let's judge him on this season because he's playing. I was of this opinion up until yesterday, and I've been trying to fight his corner and say, you know, everything is done. But thinking about it today, like you're actually right. He's had enough time now, and if it's not. And then he's not even getting like progressively better and then having a bad one. He's just been consistently
poor,
very, very poor. So I'm come round to the idea of, you know, he's 30 years old.
I don't want to be right. I want him to be fantastic every single game. I love him to bits. But he's just not.
If they're not performing, it's not. You can't do it, can you?
Ruby Wolf, Lewandowski for him, and that's a big good move. Straight swap. Let's do it.
Straight swap. Let's have that.
I'm ready. Bayern. Come on.
I'd even say get Traore back if that happened.
Let's calm down a bit.
Let's finish him off.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. We do seem to be going around in circles with this. It's actually, just said it just before Stuart Kelsall just put it there. This team has outlived its cycle. Go on. Let us know what it's.
Oh, it's what?
But we'll find out. A difference of opinion with Shrewsbury Wolf here. Go on, mate.
He deserves. Yeah, I agree. Jimenez has been terrible this season, but I think he deserves another chance. It's not just him who's been terrible at front. Everyone has been. Pardance is out and the attacking threat. But I think there's been some performances. There's been players, which I said, Hwang, obviously one, and Silva's struggling. Whether or not where we stand on Silva, I don't really know. But I think everything has its course, and I think personally now it's time that Jimenez probably. He's not the same. What's going to happen over another summer? Is he going to all of a sudden? Who knows? I hope he does, but it's probably best. I don't know. It's not working at the moment.
Probably get somewhere like Leicester and banging about 40 goals a season. But I don't agree. Pixel Yeti Media, I don't. Unfortunately, we're not dumping him. I think we've looked after him. You know, let's get that one up, mate, and then everybody.
Go on,
mate.
Oh, you can't dump him on the comeback season. People were raving that he was back to the old role a few months ago. Fans are fickle, and any striker can have a poor season.
I don't think who was saying that he was back to the old role a few months ago. I certainly wasn't. You can't be back to the old role and score 6 goals in the season. Just it's just not. He's not the same player. Stuart Kelso, it's been apparent for the last 2 seasons. I've got no issue with the recruitment cycle of youth, but I personally believe the immediate concern for the current recruitment cycle has to be the first team. Yeah, I completely agree. We've got some good players coming through. Campbell, Kundal. I think we've got some decent keepers as well. That'll probably, I reckon, Ruddy will leave this summer.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Which I think he's the right call. I think Neves might go as well, mate.
Yeah, Neves. That won't surprise me at all if Neves goes.
Yeah, I think he'll go to United if they can't get Declan Rice. I think they'll come in for Neves because I think Declan Rice, they'll ask for too much money and then they'll go, all right, we're going for Ruben Neves and we'll take 70, 80 million for him because that's the way. But that's the way it goes, mate. Like I think they'll outprice Declan Rice. Well, outprice Declan Rice. But they'll go for Neves, and I think they'll get him.
Yeah.
With this new manager coming in.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah. Oh, how on earth did we lose to Leeds? Watching them now in their dog poo.
What's the score?
So look, I think it's still.
Well, Vinyl Revival says something when your left back has scored 2 goals after coming back from 2 serious injuries. Yeah, tells you everything.
Johnny,
he's getting forward and making things happen more than anyone.
I love him so much because he's the only player that looks to me like he would do anything to get to that ball. Some of the 50-50 challenges that we didn't win against Burnley was disgusting. I thought, they just wanted it more, mate. And that's the problem. I think the fans want Europe more than the players do. I don't think they can be asked.
I don't know if they just think it's coming to the end of the season and we're sound and whatever. Whereas they are fighting for their life, so there is that kind of thing going on, I suppose.
Yeah.
Surely if you're a Wolves player, and I know they're not from Wolverhampton, so whatever, but they're still professional players. They should want to be in the competition. They should want to win every game, surely. They should be thinking, right, Europe's on the cards. It's only going to be better for their career, sure.
Well, you'd like to
think... Don't get all this other on the beach and all this crap.
And also, it's counterproductive for Fosun as well, because, they want us to go to the next level. Surely European football is that next level, and it will bring in a better standard of player. I don't get it. Rubber Dinghy Rapids, I completely agree with this point. I think it needs to be said. Bruno needs to be questioned on itinerary. We create so much war with him on the pitch. Yeah.
It's a difficult one though, because
it's difficult, man. It really is.
Because Semedo was great on the right and Johnny good on the left, so they're not going to not have Semedo on the pitch, are they?
It's like having.
He's the fall guy, I think.
We've got quality in the wrong places. we've got abundance of quality in fullbacks, and we kind of need some in midfield and the forward line. Can I just point out how much worse we are defensively when Roman Saiz is in that team? Yeah. What the hell was he doing with the goal? Just wandering around doing nothing. Thank God Willy Bolly was on the pitch, because we would have lost 2 or 3.
Bolly had a good game.
I thought Bolly was great. He was a bit unlucky with the ball that went through his legs for the goal, but you can't really.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault. I just think there is a semblance of a structure of an 11 there that could fight for the top 6. It's just everything below it is so much worse. Of Shrewsbury Wolf, a front 3 of Aitnery, Silver, and Chiquinho should have a go in the next game. I just don't think. I don't think Bruno Lage is going to
happen, is it? It's not going to.
It's not going to. It's like this ain't like this ain't Championship manager.
Well, there's no reason Chiquinho can't start with Silver.
I'd love Chiquinho to start. Play him instead of Wang.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know whether the Wang thing. I don't know. This guy's being cynical now, but it's almost like he's. They've got to play him because of the
Asian connection.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. If he's crap, he's crap, isn't he? He's like, I don't think that's even a thing. Like, do you think it was more shirts into a new, like, I don't know.
Possible.
I don't know. God, that is cynical.
Yeah.
Mate, you might be right, mate. Like, but I don't know. Ian Thomas, let's have a bit of positivity. Go on, that's it. I've been a season ticket holder for 24 years, and this is still the best time to be a Wolves fan.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think that's the underlying thing here. Yeah,
we do need to have a little bit of. We always say perspective. It's all about the perspective.
That's what I mean about frustration. That's the overriding thing, because where we could be, these little speed bumps that we keep hitting, just stopping us from going to that next level.
Yeah.
But what is it? It's just goals. Well, it's goals, isn't it? I suppose.
It's goals, mate. Yeah, and I think
if we could put the ball in the back of the net, it would be frightening where we could be. We could be 4th.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's the season in a nutshell, really, isn't it? It's like defensively, we've been solid as a rock. Going forward, we've been absolutely shocking, and that needs to change. Yeah. I thought when he took, who did he take off? He took off Saiz, didn't he? And he put on Trinquet when he played 4 at the back. I thought we were terrible.
Yeah, worse.
I thought we were worse. So, like, we need 3 at the back at the moment. We need them. But does that mean going forward, do we have to change the defence or playing a certain way? Like, is that the Wolves' way? Like, because Bruno Lage is going to make mistakes. It's his first full season in the Premier League with a new team, and he's going to make mistakes. But he has done well. I like with that squad of players.
He's done fantastic. Well. He's done so well. And just because he's made a few errors with the subs, can we be too hard? I don't know.
It's tricky because, like, as a fan, then you probably can be, because obviously you want to win every single game, and against teams like, no disrespect, but to Burnley, if we're looking for European football, we've got to beat these teams, man. We can't, because we can't like have the excuse of but they're fighting for their lives. There's a reason why they're in the relegation zones, because they're shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're
it
not
does happen
very good.
though. It does happen though. Like, mentality, they might not even know it. But if you're safe, and then you got somebody else who's, fighting to stay in the league, it does happen.
I know, it's such a small team mentality though. It's like, we're not safe. Like, we are safe, but isn't that like, that's like thinking, we're all right, we're on 40 points now, we're fine. Like, that's a small team mentality.
After a 2-week break, we should be firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? So, it's a strange one. It's a strange one.
Don't agree. Wayne McKee. Fans say Podence is our best attacking forward. How many goals he scored this season tells you all you need to know. He's not a striker. He's
creative.
He's creative. He's a creative player.
And he does create. So that's nonsense, really. But yeah, it's. But how many are going to get? How many are going to leave? Then do you think?
I think Neves will go.
Yeah.
I think Moutinho will sign a new contract.
Do you think so? Do you think that's why?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think Moutinho will stay. for another season. I think Saiss will go. I think Semedo will probably go. Because I think Aitneri's going to get more. I think Johnny Aitneri. I think. Oh God. Trying to think like midfield wise. I think we'll have about 3 or 4 outgoings, and we'll have quite a few incomings.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be like purchasing new talent or whatever, or is it going to be like Gibbs White coming back and?
I think Gibbs White will come back. Yeah, because he's had a fantastic season at Sheffield United, and he needed to go there and just I don't know, mature as a player, and I think he's.
But for me personally, it's time for him to come back.
Yeah, I think it is. I think he can create. Morgan Gibbs White. I think he's a decent option. He's a decent 10. He could be that player that unlocks defenses. He's similar to Podence in that respect. I think like when Podence gets the ball, I feel more excited. So, I think Stuart, you're right, mate. I think the realistic outlook is Neves is going to be sold to finance a rebuild. Tino will need to be kept as he doesn't have resale value and will help with the transition. 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be like little Yoda, like bringing in the the Cundles of this world, and Morgan Gibbs White even. It's I agree with final revival though. Without Neves, you look a different team. You look at the 3 players that were out against Burnley, Podence, Neves, and Kilman. Like arguably 3 of our most consistent performers of the season. I'd probably other than Sarr. I just think the games now, we've got 5 games left in this season. I think we've got to be looking at 6 points.
Yeah, is that? Yeah.
Interesting. Because I don't think we'll get any more than 6. Because I don't think we're going to get anything from Liverpool, City, or Chelsea. We need to win against Norwich and Brighton, and to get to 55 points in a season where we've got a very threadbare squad with a new manager. 55 points, I would have taken that all day long.
I think everybody would, yeah.
So
we've got to be beating Norwich. Brighton's going to be a very tough game.
Brighton a good team.
Tend to struggle there against them.
Well, anyway. we did beat them away from home, but it was a tricky game.
Based on the last 2 performances, I'd probably say that we're not going to, but who knows? Yeah. And then, like you say, Chelsea, City.
We've got to at least get to 50 points, man. 50 points, but surely, we wouldn't need 1 point. But we have hit a ceiling, haven't we? We've hit a ceiling with this squad of players. Definitely. So it just depends on where Fosun see us in the next couple of years. Are we going to smash through that ceiling, or are we going to just hover? What type of club do we want to be? We'll wait and see. But it's such a shame. We'll see what happens. But I don't know. Got anything else to add, mate? I know it's a short one, but there's nothing else to add other than Burnley or our bogey side.
I think I think we've covered most things, mate. I mean, gets to that stage of the season, and it's it could have been just so different, couldn't it? If we'd have picked up, another couple of wins, and it's a completely different story. But I think we just need to try and finish as strong as we can. Yeah, and I think it's still there because everyone around us is struggling as well for whatever reason. They've got their own issues.
I can't see United getting another win this season. They are shocking. But money does need to be spent. But money will need to be recuperated as well. And the only player that I can see, well, maybe 2, is Ruben Neves and Raul Jimenez. I think one or both will go this summer.
Yeah, I agree. I think they both will.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been lucky to keep Neves as long as we have already.
Oh yeah, he's played 200 games for us. Like that's ridiculous. He should not have played 200 games for us.
Yeah.
He shouldn't.
And Jimenez, yeah, but I think it's probably time. You know, if you can go and have that big move to Bayern, like fair play, good luck to it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Things work in cycles, and it's unfortunate.
It's the end of the cycle. It is the end of the cycle. Like for quite a few players, and that's all right. Like the good things about this is that it looks like we've got Willy Bolly back to some semblance of the player that he was. Max Kilman's had a fantastic season. Obviously, he's gone off the boil a little bit. Connor Cody, like probably his best season in a Wolves shirt. We've got one of the best transfers I can remember in Jose Sarr. Moutinho has got better this season rather than getting worse. I think there are positives to take. I just think we've got to look at the broader picture here. And I know Vinyl Revival is absolutely raging. We must, as supporters, demand more for a return of the time we spend going up and down the country investing our hard-earned cash to watch this utter dross. And you know what? I can't argue with that, mate. Like I completely agree. The performances have not been good enough. They haven't. But what's the answer? Like I don't know what the answer is. I don't think Bruno Lage knows the answer at the moment. Our owners need to take a big look at just how they're going to invest in this team and back this manager with the tools he needs. Not acceptable yet again.
Yeah, I can appreciate where he's coming from.
Yeah,
it's spot on, to be honest, but
it is. Yeah,
it's all right saying we must demand far more, but like, how far do you go with that? It's going to end up with the. We all know what we're dealing with. So what?
Grass is always greener. Grass is always greener. Look at Aston Villa and look at Everton. Exactly. Look at the amount of money those two teams have spent, and they're 16th and 18th in the league. We're 8th, and Shrewsbury Wolf has put it really well there. The end of a cycle is meant to be the worst part of the cycle. The fact that we can say that we are 8th goes to show that the level we are at nowadays.
Yeah, we've not been performing well. We have dropped points, silly points to teams we should have been beating, but we're still
teams do.
It's still doing it. It's so frustrating. I keep going back to it. It's so frustrating that we've lost to Burnley. It's awful. And you've spent your hard-earned money and you've travelled to Burnley to watch that. It's appalling.
Yeah.
But it's a game of football at the end of the day. You've got to look at it. You've got to look at the whole.
Leeds are another one. Everybody waxing lyrical about them. They've got how many points? 33 points. Got 16 more points than them. Villa, they've had a terrible season. They've had a terrible season.
If you start going after Fosun, I think you've lost the plot, because Fosun are running this club absolutely fantastically. Yeah. There's no problem. You can't have a bad word to say about them. Yes, you can be frustrated that they don't spend enough money or they haven't gone out and splashed loads of money, but go back to Villa. Should we go and get
Coutinho in and
let's go and do that and slip down the league. Yeah. Let's look at Everton and spend all the money they've spent. Oh yeah, but sound.
You know what?
Don't even go at me with that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
they're doing the best job you could ever wish for.
Isn't it interesting though? You look at the two managers that are doing this with Everton and Villa, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, and I would hazard a guess that if you were to put Bruno Lage against either one of those managers, 80% of the fan base would have gone, well, you go with Gerrard, you go with Lampard, you don't go with Bruno Lage. Who the bloody hell's that? There's a reason why they've gone with this guy, that they see something in him. And it's not just because he's Portuguese and he was easy to get. It's like he's cheaper and he's got us 49 points as opposed to however many Villa have got or however many Everton have got. I understand the frustrations, but you try being a Villa fan or an Everton fan. Everton are going to go down. and they've spent £400 million. They've spent more than Liverpool have. If you want to talk about a club that is terribly run, go over there, and also Villa as well, spunking up wages up the wall.
Yeah.
Like, and it just makes it annoys me sometimes because
it makes you laugh because we're one of the best run clubs in the whole league.
So Fowson out. It's ridiculous. If we don't invest, go on, get this guy up, Wayne. If we don't invest in the summer, it could be a slippery slide down the table. But continue this current form next season could be a different story. We said that about when Nuno went. We came 14th in that season. We've actually got better, Wayne. We've got better. We've got more points now than we did last season. We've got better. So how are we on a slippery slope? We're not.
It could be a slippery slope down the table. Well, we know what needs to be done in the summer. In Fosun we trust. Look at what they've done. Judge them on what they've done, not what it could be. It could be this. It could be that. Well, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
We could all be nukes, and it won't matter anyway.
So, exactly. We've
got exciting young players to come back. We've got it's the end. It is the end of the cycle, and we're going to sell Neves, I think, and we will rebuild. It will be the time to rebuild, and we'll probably have another couple of young lads that we've never heard of, and we might just get one marquee or semi-marquee, and off we go again. But you can't. You can't start saying it could be if they don't do this and they don't do that. It's going to be this because you've got no idea. Look at who'd have thought we'd be sitting in 8th now.
No, like I think, Vinyl Revival. I don't. 1 point in the last 2 games with Burnley. Sporters. Yeah.
Okay,
that one. Sporters scratched away with this European football romance. Time to get real and take stock of what we have, which is very little. Stray passes, sideways, backwards, and utter rubbish. But I agree. We've not played well in the last 9 games. We've suffered 6 defeats. We've lost 14 games in the league. But I just don't get this Fosun bashing. I just don't get it at all.
And what have they done not to trust?
Stuart Kelsall, great point. Reality check here. Which of our players make the teams above us? Neves, Sarr, maybe. No one else. Absolutely not. We are where we should be, and probably more.
We've overachieved again.
We've overachieved.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
We're not being run poorly. We're being run fantastically.
Yes, we are.
This is the best time. I'm 36. It's the best I've ever had. So I'm not going to complain.
I'm moaning. It's when that's the problem, isn't it? Is when you're given a tiny little bit, you want more and more and more and more, and nothing's ever good enough. But I think you look at some of the clubs that are like, how on earth can you justify seeing a team like, I know we always go on to Everton, but they're the ones most likely to go down.
Yeah.
They might go out of business, for Christ's sake.
They might not be around.
Like £400 million and you go down to the Championship, you're screwed. And that's good business, is it?
Yeah. Well, Stuart, making sense again. This is a clear case of be careful what you wish for. Those criticising Fosun, who comes in? Exactly. It's a never-ending. It just could be.
I know. Better.
Got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. The grass is not always greener. How much money do you expect Fosun to invest if Neves stays? Not much.
No, probably very little.
Not much, because he's the guy that's going to.
He's got to go. He's got to.
Yeah, he has.
It's time. It's time. It was probably all part of the plan. It's probably now's the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've already got probably 2 players from probably Sporting Lisbon that are already coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of outgoings that we're going to be like, oh, I didn't think that would be the case. But there'll be some players that we've probably never heard of, but had we heard of Willy Bolly? Had we?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like that, we have scouts. We have, and they're usually in Portugal watching that league. But we're okay. Like considering there's been a pandemic, like there's not as much money going around for business in general. Now we're coming out of that now.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think in the next couple of years, if we can stay in this division, we can then build. I just think that I don't want to be a happy clapper or anything, but I just want it like a proper balanced opinion. Like we've been playing crap, absolutely, completely agree.
No excuses for those performances.
Awful.
But we're still 8th, and if we finish, if one season we finish 7th, the next it's 12th, 8th, 10th, fine.
Yeah.
If we can do a bit better, that's what everybody's ambition is. So if you just put yourself in the
we're not the only team in the league. Like it's
exactly.
It is
going to be up and down, but so long as we're not winning, picking up no points, or we sat on 10 points, in the bottom 3, it's
absolutely
whatever.
Oh, rumours of a new stadium.
Now, rumours for a reason.
Well, new stadium, as in, I don't think we'll move from Molineux, would we? Well, you mean expanding the existing stadium?
I've not heard it, and we won't be moving from Molineux, I don't think.
Vinyl Revival, average Premiership side at best. I'll take that.
I'll take that all day.
Take that all day long. What's wrong with that? God. Yeah, I'd rather be an average Premier League side than an average Championship side.
God. Yeah.
Which is what them down the road are.
League One.
Yeah, can't compete with the big clubs. We hoped Fosun would bring that, but it's apparent now we can't. We need a bigger squad, and that takes huge investment. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I agree. We do need to spend some money. We do, and we probably haven't spent it in the right ways. Yeah. What I am saying though is that we need to be prudent. We can't just piss it up the wall like they did with, you can't. Semedo, when we bought him, everyone was saying, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And now he's like, he's a really good player. He's a really good player. Johnny, who's heard of Johnny before he came? It's a process. And
I think people are expecting Fosun to be like the City owners or the Newcastle owners, and they're not like that. And in some ways, that can be frustrating, but it's also brilliant. So it's a very careful, fine balance, and I personally think they're doing everything right.
Right. Okay. So we keep banging on about about Raul Jimenez not scoring enough goals. Look at a player like Richarlison, who I would suggest is probably worth as much or a little bit more than Raul Jimenez, and he's playing in a team that is in the bottom 3. It's about giving this perspective on how good do you think a player is? What do you think one striker is going to do for us? We don't need just one striker. We need 2. We need 2 strikers. We need 2 midfielders and probably a new centre back. We need 5 players. I think if we're going to go anywhere else, like up, but we're still a top 10 side, like, you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
Well, 2 things Wolves fans have always struggled with: 1, change; 2, things stay the same. Absolutely spot on.
I think that's a good place to stop.
I completely agree. Thanks everybody for getting in touch. It's been a really lively one tonight, and we much appreciate it. We really do. We always love interacting and just having a laugh and just, you know, we're all Wolves fans at the end of the day. We all want what's best for the club. And we all want to be playing better. We want the team to be playing better, and we will. We'll be all right. And if it is 8th, if it's 9th, if it's 10th, if it's 7th, like I do think we're going to be okay. Like it's crap when we lose. I hate it. It's the worst. But we have won more than what we've lost this season. It might not be the same at the end of the season, but
bigger picture.
I
And
agree,
obviously, we can't end the show without the joke from Ian.
Mm-hmm.
He's cemented that spot now.
Yes.
So here we go.
Go on then.
What has Man United, Black Eyed Peas, and Prince Andrew all got in common? They're all useless after Fergie left. Loving that one.
Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. And we shall see you after the Brighton game. And fingers crossed it's a better performance and a win. All right, you take care.
See you later.